Hello friends, welcome to my channel Hima Education Made Easy. In our previous video we have seen Python list exercises, right? In our previous video we have seen different types of adding methods of list, and then we have seen different methods in it. Now we'll be moving towards tuple. Okay, tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Tuple is one of 4 built-in data types in Python used to store collection of data. The other 3 are list, set, and dictionary. Already we have discussed about list, right? So now we'll be going with tuple. A tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable, whereas list can be changeable, right? So here tuples are written with round brackets, whereas lists are written with square brackets. So now I'll be moving with tuple. Okay, so now we'll be writing tuple. This is what the spell of tuple. Tuple is equal to, so here tuple is denoted with round brackets. So as the list will be having same elements, like elements which are defined internally, and one more thing, we'll take it as cherry. Okay, these are the things we are going to have. So here we are going to print this, print of tuple tuple. So now I'm going to run it. So I'll be getting an output of this thing which is denoted, which is in round brackets. Okay, so in order to know which type it belongs to, so here I'm going to take everything in brackets, and then I'm going to write type. Okay, and then I'm going to run, so that it belongs to a class of tuple. So already we know that there are 4 types of classes which are inbuilt. One is list, then we'll be having a tuple, next one is set and dictionary. These are the things. Okay, tuple items are ordered, these are unchangeable and allow duplicate values. Okay, tuple items are index. The first index has 0, second index has 1, like that we'll be having number of index numbers. So what is mean by ordered? When we say that tuple are ordered, it means that the item have a defined order and that order will not change. Unchangeable means tuples are unchangeable, meaning that we cannot change, add or remove items after that tuple has been created. Okay, and then it allows duplicates. That means we can have the same values repeatedly, like here we are already having apple, even then we can define with another element as apple, and so on. Okay, so here if you run it, you will be so let me delete this type, and then if I run it, so here these elements can have multiple items in it. Okay, so in order to know the tuple length, as we have seen in list, similarly here we are going to have len in order to know the length of this tuple. So in order to create tuple with one item, you have to add comma after the item, otherwise Python will not recognize it as a tuple. So let us see. So here I am going to remove every element over here except apple, and I am going to remove this length too, and then I am going to see type, which type it belongs to. If there is any comma after an individual element, then if I run it, then it will read as string, so it will not consider it as a tuple. Okay, in order to identify it as a tuple, we need to have a comma after the element. So now if we run it, so it belongs to a class of tuple now. So this is mandatory, and we need to remember that in order to define a single element tuple or one item tuple, you need to use a comma. Tuple items data types. Tuple items can be of any data type, either it might be of string, number or a boolean. Okay, so here previously we used to have Okay, let us see previously defined tuple, and then I'm going to name it as tuple 1, and then I'm going to take another tuple of 2, which, you know, guys, once again I'm saying you, if you want to have a tuple, then you need to take it in square round brackets, and you need to denote a comma if you want to have a single element in a tuple. Okay, so now I'm going to take numbers instead of a string. I'm going to have numbers now. Okay, it will accept this thing also. Then I'm going to have tuple 3 with boolean operators, that is true. So here also you guys need to remember that for boolean operators you need to mention everything, every boolean operation it should have first letter capital. That is, for true you need to mention capital T. If you go with small t, it won't take it as a boolean operator. Okay, so for that you guys need to remember this. For boolean operators you need to go with capital letters at first. So here I'm going to take this, I'm going to change this type to type, and then I'm going to copy paste these things. Okay, so here I'm going to take 3, I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to do 1. So here tuple 1, tuple 2, tuple 3 I'm going to consider it as. So if I run it, these all 3 belongs to tuple class. Okay, so that means tuple can accept any type of data, and tuple with strings integrate integers and boolean values. Single tuple can have all these 3 types of data as of. Okay, so here if I want to have a different sort of things, so here I'm going to take 1, then I'm going to take true, and then I'm going to take false. Okay, so here if I run this one, I'll be getting it as a class of tuple. So tuple can accept all the data types. Okay, and then we'll be going with constructor. So here already we have seen in our previous class that in order to use a constructor for list, we used list of double brackets. Similarly here, if you want to use if you want to create a tuple with constructor, then you need to go with tuple of everything. 2 brackets you need to mention it. Okay, so then it will read it as a tuple. Okay, Python, there are 4 collection data types in Python programming. One is list, a collection which is ordered and changeable. So you need to remember the difference between a list and a tuple. For that purpose I am going to repeat these statements once again. So list is a collection which is ordered and changeable, allows duplicate members. Okay, so here now we are dealing with the tuple, so it is also a collection which is ordered as of list and unchangeable. Okay, this is what the main difference it takes with the list and a tuple. It also allows duplicate members as of list. Okay, then after we'll be moving to access tuple items. So how we are going to access tuple items? Already we have created tuple, and in order to access each element individually, we need to use a square bracket, which is and there should be a number inside the square bracket. So here we'll be seeing tuple 1. So here I'm going to have a square bracket in which I am going to mention index number. So here 0 will represent first element, 1 will represent second element, 2 will represent third element and 3 will represent fourth element. So here if I run it, I'll be getting apple, that is the first element. Similarly here I'm going to run with third index number, which runs my fourth element of this tuple. So here we'll be going with negative index number. -1 refers to the last item, -2 refers to the second last item, etc. like that. So here in order to access the last item with the negative index number, I'm going with -1 and I'm going to run it, then I'll be getting this one. So here if I go with -2 from last second item that is true, it has to print, right? So here you can specify a range of indexes by specifying where to start and where to end the range. When specifying a range, the return value will be new tuple with specified items. Okay, so here if I want to have a range of items, then here I'm going to have from 0 to 3. So that is from first element to last element. What will it return? We'll see now. So it returned with 3 elements, apple, 1 and true. Okay, so here what it has taken is, so here it includes first element, whereas the last index number will not be included in this tuple. Okay, so here there are another methods. So if you want to access throughout the last, there is no need to mention the starting index number. If you want to have, let me take 1. So if you want to have till the last, then there is no need to mention the last index number. So from second element to final element you will get. So as 1 is representing the first number, that is second element of this tuple. Okay, by leaving out end values, the range will go on to the end of the list. Okay, so range of negative indices. Now we'll be going with negative indices. So -1 represents the last element and -3 represents the first element, right? If I run it, I'll be getting true and false. So whenever you go with these things, the first element will not be included in negative indices. This is what the main difference, you need to check it. So determine if a specified item is present in a tuple, we need to use in keyword. Okay, so here already we are having a tuple, then here I'm going to use if condition, if something, let me take 1 in tuple 1 print 1 is there, or yes, one is present. Okay, so here if I run it, it will print as 1 is present in it. So in order to verify whether the element is there in this tuple or not, you can check it with if condition. Okay, so here if I want to have something like something, I'm going to have over here, if it is not there, it will not print anything. So else will use else print not there. Okay, and then if I run it, I'll be coming up with not there. Okay, tuples are unchangeable, meaning that you cannot change, add or remove items once the tuple is created, but there are some workarounds. Okay, so once a tuple is created, you cannot change its values, but our tuples are unchangeable or immovable as it is called. But there is a workaround. You can convert the tuple into a list, change the list and convert the list back to the tuple. Okay, so here we are having a tuple, but as we have known that it is unchangeable and immutable, so here in order to change this tuple, we need to convert this one into a list. Okay, So here we are going to convert it into list. Okay, in order to convert this one into list, we need to use a function called list of tuple, and then we'll be going with y index number of I want to change true to some other variable. So here index number of true is 2. So here I'm going to go with y of 2 is equal to mango. I'm going to change true to mango, and then I'm going to change tuple 1 to tuple of y. Okay, tuple of y. Okay, so here built functions are list and a tuple. So by using these things you can change, but if you want to directly change this thing into another element, you won't be able to. That also will be seeing it. Print of tuple 1. Okay, this is how you can be able to change the elements inside it. So what happens if we change the thing directly like a tuple only? Okay, tuple 1 in square bracket, I'm going to mention the index number 2 for true, and I want to change it to mango, right? So if I run it, what will it say? So see here, tuple object does not support item assignments. Okay, so this is what the unchangeable means. Since tuples are immutable, they do not have a built-in function called append method, but there are other ways to add items to tuple. So first one is to convert it into list, and then you need to reconvert it into tuple. Okay, next we'll be having second method, that is called add tuple to tuple. You are allowed to add tuple to tuple. So if you want to add one item or many, create a new tuple with the items you want to add and add it to the existing tuple. So this is the second method. Tuples are unchangeable, but tuples can be added to another tuple. Okay, so here I'm going to come up with the thing called, as we have seen, mango. So here, in order to convert this string into tuple, I need to specify a comma. This is what I have learned in this video, and then I'm going to add this thing to tuple. Okay, tuple 1 plus is equal to y. This is what the shortcut we have learned in order to write. Then I'm going to have a print statement, print of tuple 1. Then if I run it, I can be able to see that mango is added at the last. When creating a tuple with only one item, we need to remember that we need to include comma. Otherwise it will not take it as a tuple and it will not get added to that thing. So here if we see it again, then we'll be running up with an error, that is can only concat tuple not string to tuple. This is what the thing will be getting. Okay, then we'll be moving with how to delete, right? So you can delete the tuple completely, okay, but you cannot change this tuple. Okay, in order to delete, just you need to use the keyword, that is delete tuple 1, and then see what happens. Print of tuple 1, and if I run it, I'll get an error. The name tuple 1 is not defined because tuple 1 is already deleted in second line. Next we'll be going with unpacking a tuple. When we create a tuple, we normally assign values to it. This is called packing a tuple, but in Python we are also allowed to extract the values into variables. This is called unpacking. Okay, already we are having a tuple. Then we'll be going with right, already we have defined something. So here we have defined 4 elements. So I am going to go with green, yellow, red, orange. These are the things I'm going to have in order to unpack these things. Then I'm going to assign these things to tuple 1. Okay, and then I'm going to print. In order to unpack these things, I will be going with green as a variable, and then I'm going to have another variable as a variable as yellow. Then I'm going to have another variable as red, and then I'll be going with print of orange, right, lost item. And then I'm going to run it. Then what output will I be able to get? So here we can unpack by using these things. The number of variables must match the number of values in the tuple. If not, you must use an asterisk to collect the remaining values as a list. Using asterisk, that is a star, okay, so here these numbers should be matched. So if not, you won't be able to unpack the tuple. So here if I remove this thing and then if I run it, what output will I be getting? So too many values to unpack except 3. Okay, this is what the output we have got. So here if you are having only 3 and the number of elements are more, means then you need to use stars so that there won't be any error, so that the last item will take the remaining items. Okay, orange we haven't defined, right? So at the last element you need to mention a star before it, so that you will be able to extract all the elements. So it starts unpacking from first. So green will be assigned to apple, next yellow will be assigned to 1, then red will be assigned to the remaining values, that is true, false. So what happens if you are having one more thing like something I have written. Okay, so here I'm going to put it in quotations so that it can read it as a string. So here if I run it again, I'll be able to get the last 3 elements in one thing. While unpacking, we have given the remaining elements to the value of red. In order to do that, we need to mention a star before it, that is asterisk. So okay, this is what the thing is. And then I'll be moving with Python loops. Okay, you can loop through the tuple item by using a for loop. For example, here we are having around 5 elements in it, right? Apple 1 2 3 4 and 5 we are having. So in order to use loop, so here we are using for loop for x that represents each element in tuple. Okay, in tuple 1, print each element, okay, that what represents the x. So here we can run a for loop, so every element will be read one by one in a for loop. Okay, loop we can loop it through the index number. So here index number generally will be representing with I, and then here in order to have in order to go with numbers, then we'll be having a range of, okay, length of tuple. Okay, this is what we need to have, right? So then we need to print here tuple 1 of index number, that is generally will go with I. Okay, so here if I run it, I can have the same values, but here I am going to run it with length of list. Okay, so by using range and length function we can run the for loop. So now we'll be moving with while loop. You can loop through the list items by using a while loop also. We use length function to determine the length of the tuple. Then start at 0 and loop your way through the tuple item by referring to their indexes. So here we need to remember to increase the index by 1 after every iteration when you are going to use if while loop. Okay, so here I'm going to define I is equal to 0 at first, and then I'm going with while loop, right? While I is less than length of tuple 1, then a print of tuple 1 of having, which is having an index number. Okay, so when it runs at first it will go with 0, then it will go with incremental value. So then I can go with I plus is equal to 1, or you can write it as I is equal to I plus 1 2. Okay, I plus 1 also you can write it. So in order to see here I am going with debug. Okay, so how it works we'll be seeing it. So here in order to run this debug we need to set over, and for that you need to press F8. So it's a bit slower. So here we'll debug it again. So it goes with this thing. So right, so first it will go with 1, next it will go with first it will go with apple 1 true false, and the final thing. So it will go with incremental. So first it will print tuple which is having index number 0, then it will go to I plus 1 which makes the I value to be 1. Then at that time tuple of 1 will be of 1, and then tuple of 2 will be of true, tuple of 3 will be of false, and 4 will be of that thing. Finally 4 is less than the tuple length. That is what the meaning is. Next we'll be going with joining tuple